Alright, welcome aboard. This is Sunrise TV. Wherever you're cutting the signals of Sunrise TV for, I'd like to say thank you so much actually for being part of us. This is where we give exclusive analysis in the game of football, in the game of sports. You cut across, we shall never leave you behind in case of any information that comes in the world of sports. Whether it be netball, whether it be athletics, whether it be rugby, this is where you'll be to get the info. Remember, the biggest one is from Yumbe district, whereby the Yumbe Super 8 is set to return. I'll be talking about that one shortly in there. But Khalid Awucho, the captain of Ghana Prince, has finally left young Africans with him. He has left a very big legacy. And where he'll be going next is actually one of the biggest things that we shall be looking into that into nitty-gritties. Then, one of the biggest one was within West Nile, particularly in Arua, whereby the ball games have finally come to conclusion yesterday. So I'll be pending some picture about that. Remember, internationally, Liverpool have beaten a team in the names of York by 3-1. And guess what? This is one of the biggest signings in the names of foreign weights who come into the limelight. And one of the young stars in that team of Liverpool, he keeps impressing every time that he's on the pitch. Who the youngster is, that's one of the biggest that we shall be delve into that. Remember, keep on dropping your questions on our social media platform. We're there live on Facebook, we're there live on X, we're there live on YouTube. Keep following Sunrise TV, and your comments, I'll be responding to some of your questions or inputs that you'll be posing to me right here. You could be casting us from Kampala, you could be casting us from diaspora. I'd like to say thank you so much. This is Sunrise TV, located here in the heart of Arua City. This show is proudly sponsored by Sabrina Global Ventures Limited. In there, they are the biggest and the sole sponsors of this show. This show goes for 1 full hour, and I'll be here with you till the end of time. That's when I'll be leaving the studios for the next program to come in. My name is Snr GEROH, the host of the show. Let's pick it from here, and we'll talk about the Super 8 that's set to return back in Yumbe district, whereby Coach Urban were the champions last season, and this time around we shall be seeing the district of Yumbe hosting this one again. It's mainly for the team that played their trade in the regional league, and the biggest teams that are there in Yumbe district. And this is a categorizing after that game to see that teams really needed to prepare themselves for pre-season in here, and a trophy is always awarded here at the end of this tournament. I think Yumbe is doing extremely well when it comes to organizing football tournament to see that the boys are prepared and ready for the next challenge. Remember, Yumbe has got the biggest number of teams in West Nile when it comes to play in the West Nile Regional League in there. Remember, the Regional League will be having a one-legged affair, and this is when clubs will be actually into a lot of challenges. Remember, if you are not financially stable, this is when you will be struggling a little bit, because it involves a lot of movement, it involves a lot of transportation, it involves a lot of issues to do with accommodation, a lot of things. This is when clubs have to do their preparations early enough. But I think what the football organizers, what the DFA down in the Yumbe district is doing is one of the biggest things. So we're waiting to see how this will be coming into limelight in there. And this is not the first time that they're doing this, and they've been doing this actually previously, and hope this one will go successfully. And the proposal is ready on the table, and team that are really interested, you can go to the DFA offices of Yumbe district so that you register yourself, get in and participate, and the trophy awaits for you. And Coach Urban, like I said earlier on, they were the defending champions, so they have got a mountain to climb so as to defend this title again. Remember, this is not just an ordinary title in there. This is something that adds to your CV. This is something that adds a lot of value to the players. When you win trophies, that's when you can be recognized to some of the biggest heights in there. Winning that adds some actual number of trophies that you have won for yourself as a player. It will be hard for you to win trophies within West Nile. Yeah, you can win the Regional League trophy. You can win what you call the playoffs trophy for the big league. but start from home, build from home. That's when the exposure comes in, and that Super 8 of Yumbe normally attracts people from different areas actually from the country here. We have seen scouts coming across Uganda. We have seen other scouts coming in from South Sudan just to come and spot players here. This is when players have got that exposure. This is when players get to have new homes for themselves. And it's the transfer period, and it's the transfer market here in Uganda and internationally here. When you have the when you have the TNS account here from the regional league, you can be spotted and you can play continentally. So this is something which is very, very interesting that I felt like I need to air it up so that the teams have to do their preparations enough to see that they look competitive in this competition. And you may be the district that has got the biggest number of teams in the regional league. I think that sends a very big signal. So in another sense, I'm looking at the point of Nebi coming into this. Yumbe coming into this to see that there needs to be a team playing in the FIFA Big League in the district. Remember, Calvert Football Club will be playing in what we call the Southern Uganda Premier League. So there's no team in Yumbe district that will be played their trade in the Big League. At least Arua has one, Paida has one, Nebi has one. So what about the powerhouse of West Nile football? That's Yumbe district. It will be interesting. Much as they have got Midgo Calvert playing in that. Remember, Calvert will be crossing over to Ethiopia. They will be playing in the Direct Cup tournament. That's organized by their sponsors. So they will not be categorized in this tournament. The Super 8. So, which of the biggest teams in West Nile is the DFA of Yumbe going to call to categorize this game? Remember, last season they called Calvert Football to come and categorize this one, but Calvert turned that one down. So, this is still an opportunity for any team to grab it. It could be Ondo Praka Football Club, it could be the Black Angels, it could be a team in the names of Navy Central. Any team that feels like this is where the players need to get trained, this is where the players need to get their form actually recovered, this is an opportunity. And Yumbe is always the biggest when it comes to organizing such kind of tournaments. Remember, they are always there when it comes to organizing tournaments, the ED Cups of this world. Yumbe is always known of that. I'm so grateful to the DFA chairperson of Yumbe district for organizing this kind of tournament. I don't know what's happening here in Arua that has got the likes of Wapangurasi, that has got the likes of Diego. These are the people whom I thought that this kind of initiative, they really needed to have it on ground to see that football in Arua takes another stage. Of course, we've seen clubs here, when they come to playing continental, regional, provincial tournaments, they always find it very hard. We have seen clubs in Arua find it very hard in the regional league, and at the end they get demoted. We have seen Arua City getting demoted. Lia Football Club is the only club that seems to be doing some actual max when it comes to regional league, which is now set to become provincial football. Then we have got Airfield, that's kind of uprising so well in there. And Nene, who is at the head of the team, he's doing actually his best to see that this team goes far. And with the new actual structures coming on board, this is when I think the DFA of Arua City or the Arua district needs to up the actual game to see that football in the district is kind of nurtured. Gulu, we talk about Nebi, Pakwat, other districts. Please, you can copy from the powerhouse of Western football. That's Yumbe district. Let's develop football in West Nile. Let's have more of Sabans of this world. Let's have more of Toharasis of this world here. Let's have more of players in names of the Antinatans of this world within West Nile. We are known of that, and we are always very proud to see that these players, once they reach the occasion, they go abroad and they represent us proudly. We have seen them representing Uganda. We have seen others crossing over to South Sudan. So many of them have crossed over to South Sudan. That clearly says that West Nile is known of football. Much as the opportunity is not for them here when it comes to national affairs, but going continental is one of the biggest things. Remember, whenever DR Congo, they can even switch their agency and play for DR Congo. This is where the players are identified. So when you do such kind of initiatives here, definitely football in Western will grow. But I'm looking at the Western FA being serious when it comes to organizing some of these tournaments. We have seen the Master Cups being played in Kampala. It is more of a regional thing. Teams in Kampala centrally organize and play in this. we have seen Toro Kingdom organizing this kind of initiative. So does it mean that the Lubarakari need to come into this to see that teams are kind of organized to see that they play this kind of tournaments? I think that should be one of the ideas that can click very well when the Western FA works closely with the Lubarakari. It can add some spice. I'm not neglecting the Luru people, the Luo people, or the Lindu people. It cuts across. When it comes to Western affair, the Lubarakari can coordinate very well with the people who are spared in the culture of Luru land. They can work perfectly. We have seen Kokot being actually amended in Uganda, and they are working so actually effective in Uganda. Why not the areas that we have got in West Nile? The Amari people, the Kakwas, they can come into a common term, and we see how best we can select the biggest teams per district in that regard to play in what we call the Master Cup of West Nile. It can work. We can call it Western Cup. It was there, but it vanished to some extent due to poor preparation, due to poor management, and poor timing, I can say. And the leaders who were spearheading that were kind of allied. And the leaders that we are having per now, they are not to the best. I can tell you, they are not to the best, and they are kind of self-driven. What they know is what I earn. What they know is what I benefit from. So organizing this kind of tournament, I think, can kind of give some light for Western football. And with the level of talent that we have got in West Nile, that's when scouts can come in and support it massively. That's according to me. And you can prove me right or wrong, but this is a thing that, if addressed, we can see a lot of talents come in West Nile. I don't want to sit here and talk alone. And the other upcoming youngsters in the game of football, they'll be here, they'll be coming to talk about this. I'll never work here at Saturday for long. I'm telling you. Time will come, I'll quit. Some of these people are playing, they will become sports journalists like me. They will become people who commentate the games. You see, these are the things that we really needed to identify. And we are here to bridge the gap. We are here to give the masses the information that we felt like, if this is supposed to be like this, it can work. This is an opinion poll from me. And that's the biggest thing that I thought I really needed to air out within West Nile. And one of the biggest one is about Toha Rashid. You remember, he was at Police Football Club, and at Police, he won the trophy with them, and his contract has kind of come to an end. So what does it mean? There are other offers for him, and he has been one of the biggest players who have worked closely with Charles Livingston Babazi. And from playing continental football, we seen Toha Rashid, the captain for Western Province team, come back to the country, reaffirm himself, work on his fitness again. Remember, he is really amazing player to watch. Very calm on the ball, very excellent game reading. He is actually on pitch and off pitch, actually attributes are very, very much positive. He doesn't have any issues. So does it mean other clubs can come in and support him? Well, of course, Simba FC, I've told they were talking about his services, but I think a player of his caliber doesn't need to play in Uganda anymore if he really wanted to cement himself to some extent when it comes to financial aspect of it. Of course, we've seen him having responsibilities now. That's Toha Rashid for you. We've seen the likes of Mao Saban going abroad, the likes of Alfred Leku going abroad, Nyathian going abroad. So just put yourself in the shoes of Toha Rashid. Yes, he has actually reaped a lot in football, but now going abroad and coming back to Uganda, whereby there are a lot of mafias in Ugandan football, you'll not be having that sign-on fee. Even sometimes the allowances that are paid to you in terms of your training allowances, they are kind of meager. And Continental, you earn that one massively. And here in Uganda, you'll be having 5,000, 10,000 of this money is given to you. What will this money do for you? You're having a family. So I think it's high time that he really needs to go for a club that's capable of actually maintaining him for a longer period of time. You could talk clubs, yes, here you're going to have the clubs. AC is one of them. You could talk about KCC can actually maintain his services. Even Vipers can equally maintain his services regardless of his demands. Of course, I know being all that exposed to harass it with the experience that he has, he can offer for them something. Remember, these teams will be Vipers and Neck Football Club will be playing continental showpiece for now, and adding this quality into your team can spice up something. I'm not saying that the club's already talking about him, but I think with the experience that he has got now, with the continental showpiece that he has got now, he has got maturity in mind now. These clubs can easily actually go for him. And Morindoa is one of the biggest fans of Toha Rashid. He has talked about him for a couple of times. So anytime, don't be surprised to see Toha Rashid crossing over to Sports Club Villa, the Vipers. This is a team that's known for winning trophies in Uganda. They're kind of predominant when it comes to winning trophies in Uganda. Really, it will be amazing to see this guy making amends. I don't want to see him actually staying put in East Africa. That's according to me, because he has a kind of established himself to be one of the biggest players in Africa right now. I expected a player of Toha Rashid's caliber to cross over to South Africa, cross over to Algeria, maybe Morocco, even Nigeria. He has got that potential in him already. And with the exposure that he has got with the South Sudanese national team, that speaks some sense and volume about his growth in football. So, Toha Rashid, really an amazing player to watch. And he has been one of the influential players in that team of Western Province. And his approach, his game reading is always excellent. And when it comes to the height advantage, he has got that height advantage much into him because of his height advantage. He looks very tall. Those who watch Marouane Fellaini play back for Manchester United, even Everton, that's the Toha Rashid. The Toha Rashid I'm talking about. He's very, very tall. In that central defense partnership, I think if he gets a good one, he can cement one of the solid centre backs in the world. I'm telling you, he can even play alongside Antonio Rudiger of Real Madrid. He can play against. He can play alongside a player in the names of Virgil van Dijk, who has established himself. This is a player who I respect a lot. I expect him not even to sign for any Ugandan club. Much as the clubs have got the potential of signing him. There are only two clubs here in Uganda who can, to me, sustain a player of his caliber. One is a club in the names of Vipers, then the second is KCCA. So, I'm not saying that these guys are talking about him, but he currently, as I talk, he's a free agent, and he has got the potential of playing for these clubs. Any of them can go for him. And if he can go again and sign for another club, maybe in Tanzania, maybe in Kenya, where he played actually previously before, that's a plus for him. And playing for a number of clubs here within Western, even in Uganda here, he has really grown into football. That's Toha Rashid for you. Let's talk about one of the biggest players who has been captain in Uganda Cranes in the names of Khalid Aucho. Remember, Khalid Aucho has been one of the biggest players for the national team of Uganda. Ever since he was called up in that team of Uganda, he has been a regular call-up for Uganda Cranes when it comes to playing games for Uganda Cranes. Remember, the AFCONs, he has always been there for the FIFA Club, actually for the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. He has ever been called. That's Khalid Aucho for you. Remember, he has been playing his trade for a team called Young Africans. In this team, he has been a zero winner with Young Africans of Tanzania. And in that team, he really stayed. That shows the level of maturity in mind. That shows the level of growth that he has got in the football for now. That's Khalid Aucho for you. And with a team in the names of Young Africans, he won 4 trophies consecutively, not even missing any. The only that he missed was when Young Africans met with Algeria's Algiers in what we call the CAF Confederation Cup final, way back in 2023, in which the team lost it in the finals. Remember, that was it was played on home and away basis. And in Algeria, team Young Africans managed to beat Alger by a goal to nil. But when Alger came back to East Africa, predominantly in Tanzania, that's when they managed to beat a team in the names of Young Africans by 2 goals to 1, which means it ended 2-2 on the aggregate. So they had to win them by penalties. So he is someone who has grown in football. That clearly tells you that he has got a lot to do for himself for now. Of course, I think leaving young Africans of Tanzania, who are the defending champions and the powerhouse of Tanzanian football, tells you something. Maybe there's a lucrative offer coming in. We have seen big name Ghana actually players crossing over somewhere. We have seen players like Ronald Sesiganda crossing over. You see, people are watching Ugandan football. I think even in the latest FIFA rankings, Uganda even dropped from 8th, 9th position. They dropped to 8th position. That speaks some sense about the growth. And Khalid Aucho as one of the influencers for Uganda Cranes, and he has really done his part for the team. And adding that drop in the FIFA rankings, I think this is where he has already matured for the national team. Remember, he is already 31 years old. He has kind of achieved in football for now, in terms of money. And for the national team of Ghana, he is really a regular figure. Imagine he's the captain of the team. And having that captain armband speaks volume about it. That skill, that discipline level, that maturity, that growth is really meant in you. And that leadership is really something that is overappreciated by the FIFA, by the coaches appointed by the FIFA, actually by FIFA in there. So, leaving this club is something which kind of caught my attention. And here comes the opportunity for him now. Will he agree to pen to paper on East Africa again? I don't think no. I don't think yes. I don't think he'll be in position to sign again in East Africa. That's Khalid Aucho for you. I'm told the clubs who are monitoring his services in Algeria, the clubs in South Africa, the clubs in Morocco, they're talking about his services and with the experience that he has got in football for now, with the level that he has actually had with Uganda Cranes, Khalid Aucho deserves to play somewhere. I can tell you, he is someone whom I think has got the biggest opportunities for now, because he kinda has got everything. He has got the agents that switch for him. They identify for you the club that has got the potential and the club that has got the money to sign him. Khalid Aucho for you. He has kinda bid his farewell to the club, and he has thanked the management. He has thanked the fans. He has thanked the player that with whom he has been playing. That tells you how responsible he has been in the team of young elephants. And I think in that military setup of young Africans, I think he is going to leave a very big gap for the team. So the team really needed to have another actual player to replace him, because they really need to have another experienced player. Remember, they will be playing continental football, and this is where he was to have another change. And that's, imagine him leaving Team Young Africans of Tanzania. That's another big opportunity for him somewhere. I've told you where he has been monitored. Don't be surprised to see him going for one of the biggest clubs in Africa. I'm talking about Khalid Aucho. Let's talk big league football, and we'll talk about Tuka Sazi. Remember, Tuka Sazi are gearing up seriously for 2025-2026 for big league season. And remember, they endured their difficult seasons, difficult times last season in the recently concluded FIFA Big League. And remember, Calvary were crowned the champions in that. And Tuka Sazi finished 8th on the log. And here comes an opportunity for them. They have kind of announced their first signing. Moreover, a utility player who can play in the midfield, who can play in that centre back, in the names of Douglas Oirov. Remember, this is someone who comes from West Nile, particularly from Maluruland, Douglas Oirov for you. And he has played, recently he has been playing for Chitara, due to other fracas that has been happening with Chitara Football Club. Remember, the club has not been paying the players on time. There were issues of players not being paid their salaries, accommodation being hard. You see, this is where Team Tuka Sazi want to pick it from. They are now going for experience, and they play in the caliber of Douglas Oyerov, who has got the experience and that leadership and that maturity in him, can add something very tangible in that team of Tukasazi. Centrally, he can play. He is a leader. That's a player in the names of Douglas Oyerov. And crossing over to Tukasazi, I think this is something that I thought is worth appreciating for him. Of course, things are not clicking very well at the Chitara Football Club. And Tukasazi is an ambitious club. They are really a club that has got a target to achieve. And their priority that they have set for now is to qualify for the next status. That's status in Ghana Premier League. Are they going to cement their way through with the acquisition of Douglas Oyerov, who got the experience, who has got that commanding? He's very calm on the ball. That's a player in the names of Douglas Oyerov for you. I think he can, because of his experience and playing at higher level, he can command the dressing room very well. You can say, hey guys, you know what, we can do this. That's the play in the names of Douglas Oyerov. And he has not been an easy player to watch. And he has played for a couple of clubs. Remember, he has played for Snr Football Club. He has played for Mbarara Football Club. Even UPDF. And that's of recent. Like I said earlier, he has been playing for Chitara Football Club. One of the biggest things for the team of Tukasazi, who offers a lot for them in the midfield, in the back line. I'm telling you, Douglas Oyerov will be a player that these guys will live to have in their team. And with the experience that he has got per now in the Ghana football, experience a lot from that. Let's go internationally. Here, I'll go club to club. I'll never leave any club outside, regardless whether Real Madrid, whether Chelsea, whether Manchester United, Barcelona. Here I'll be going club to club. I still have some few minutes to be here to give you some of the insights. Remember, Arsenal Football Club. Remember, on Saturday, that's when they announced the signing of Victor Gyökeres, who will be donning the iconic jersey number, who has been done by the legend player in the names of Thierry Henry. And this guy has been given that iconic jersey number, like I said earlier, 14 at Arsenal. Remember, the other young stars who were there, the likes of Rich Nelsons of this world, tried that at Arsenal Football Club. Things never clicked well for them. And initially, Arsenal really wanted to give him just number 9. But that just number 9 at Arsenal Football Club is done by a player in the name of Gabriel Jesus, who is injury prone for them. Ever since he made that switch from Manchester City to Arsenal Football Club, injury has been hitting Gabriel Jesus game in, game out. And he has got a very good relationship with someone in the names of Mikel Arteta. With him, they work together at Manchester City. So, Arteta thought it very wise that he sees someone who is still very important for him, much as he's injury prone. Of course, he still got other services to offer for him when it comes to playing in there. And Gabriel Jesus himself can play in that forward position. He can play on the flanks. Even he can play in that number 10 role that Gabriel Jesus for you. And Arsenal trusted their record signing in the names of Victor Gyökeres, and they gave him that number 14. And guess what? Arsenal has reaped very big in this deal. Remember, Arsenal and the fans said the jersey numbers and the name for Victor Gyökeres will be printed for free. This is something that was going to cost Arsenal at a fee of around £16 million. Remember, this money has been sided aside, and the jersey for Victor Gyökeres has been produced for free. And this has attracted a number of sales for Arsenal Football Club. Remember, that has been actually brought on board, has been finished. They have been sold off, I'm telling you. I don't know whether even there is in Africa, but with the population that the whites are having in Europe, I'm telling you, the jersey has been all taken. And the Arsenal board has reaped a lot from this. Are we going to see Arsenal Football Club with the sales that they have got in the Victor Gyökeres such number? Are they going to sign a player in the names of Eberechi Eze, whom he has got a release clause of 68 million pounds, and they've been talking about this guy for a couple of seasons, and they surely needed a player of his caliber. But can Arsenal Football Club really go into the transfer market, splash this money from the success of Victor Gyökeres, sign a player in the names of a player in the names of Eberechi Eze, and go in and sign a player in the names of Rodriguez from Real Madrid? Remember, they've been talking about these players, and this is something that I thought Arsenal really needed to have an eye on. And having all these players on board, Arsenal Football Club will be a team to watch, I'm telling you. And these players are not just ordinary players. They are proving themselves. Most of them have got Premier League experience. It's only Martinez will make that they have signed from Real Sociedad, who has not got that Premier League experience. But I think he will adapt so quick with the style of play that Arsenal portrays, and with the presence of Mikel Merino and that midfield setup of Arsenal Football Club. I think the chemistry clicked very well in the Spanish La Liga. They can copy and then paste it here at the Arsenal Football Club. I'm quite sure Mikel Arteta is going to play these guys together. That three-man midfield will see these guys. We'll see Martin Zubimendi, we'll see Declan Rice, then we'll see a certain player in the names of Mikel Merino. If he doesn't give the priority for a player in the names of Martin Odegaard, I think that alternative is going to be there. You understand? So, for them to click very well, they have to build a strong relationship first. That's the thing. Will they be in a position to attract the media attention? Of course, these signings are not just easy signings. These are big name signings. And clubs have been talking about these players. You can talk about the only ordinary player that Arsenal has signed for now should be Nuno Madueke from State Football Club. So, the $1 million question is, can Arsenal Football Club be in position to win the Premier League with the signing that they have got per now? Is the $1 million question that everyone is asking themselves. Let's go to Anfield and we'll talk about Liverpool Football Club. Remember, Luis Diaz has left them for around 65.5 million pounds. He has crossed over to Bayern Munich, and at Bayern Munich he has been given that number 14, which to me is something that speaks volume about Liverpool Football Club. Remember, when Diego Jota died on that car crash, this guy, when players were mourning, when fans were going for the burial, he refused to go. He went for clubbing. That's the Luis Diaz for you. That's the reason as to why the Liverpool fans, even the players, even the management of Liverpool Football Club was not really happy with Luis Diaz at Anfield. So they thought it very well that they needed to send that disease away in the team of Liverpool Football Club. Of course, failing to attend the burial of a player who has been very, very good with you clearly tells you something. And when Luis Diaz's father was kidnapped, and this guy in the names of Diego Jota was even the very person, well, that day when he scored that goal against, I think, Crystal Palace, that's when he removed his shirt, said, free Diego Jota's Luis Diaz's father. Now, how can you fail to go for the burial of this? Is really something that kind of really caught the attention of the media, the fans of Liverpool Club, and even the hierarchy of Liverpool Football Club. And they thought it very wise that they really need to send this dude away. They sold him expensively to Team Bayern Munich. I think there they got the deal done. They ripped big from that. So, amazing. And Liverpool are really interested in signing a player in the names of Alexander Isak from Newcastle United. So, the latest that I'm getting indicates that Alexander Isak has agreed on personal terms with Liverpool Football Club. And if Liverpool Football Club can be in position to have club-to-club talk between themselves with Newcastle United, this guy is ready to cross over to Liverpool Football Club. That's Alexander Isak for you. And he said to sign 5 years contract actually at Anfield. They have got Hugo Kitike already, Milos Cricket from Bunaf already. They've had got players like Jeremy Frimpong from Bayer Leverkusen. They've got Fernand Waits already from Bayer Leverkusen. These additions speak volume about Liverpool. Can they go into the transfer market again and sign more players? They were talked about Malky Fofana. They were talked about a player who plays for Valencia. Still very young. His name, that skipped off my mind a little bit. But Liverpool for now needed to have replacements for Luis Diaz, replacements for a player in the names of Diego Jota. Federico Chiesa is set to leave them. Even a player in the names of Darren Núñez is set to leave them. So, I think Liverpool Football Club, for sure, really needed to have players on board to see that their front line is kind of lively. You can't rely so much on Mo Salah because he has been a prominent actual starter for Liverpool Football Club for a number of years. Then you have a player in the names of Gakpo, who is not all that a consistent player. He's going to play for you 10 games or 15 games, but at the end, it gets down. Federico Chiesa, who is not having the playing time and he's attracting interest from other clubs. Liverpool and Ancelotti, I think, really needed to have got other players up front. But I'm sure with these signings, if Liverpool can sign 3 players up front, don't expect Liverpool Football Club to go on and sign players again in the January transfer window. That's according to me, because these are really money that Liverpool is spending is really abnormal. Something that other clubs are not even doing. And Newcastle United and Alexander Isak, of recently, they have been in what we call contract talks. And Alexander Isak said Newcastle has to pay him £300 million for him to sign another contract at Magpies. Can they convince him and give him this extra money in there? And Liverpool are saying they are ready to bid £100 million. But Newcastle United are saying that they really needed to have a money which is worth around £150 million. But Liverpool, in the second bid, are said to bid around £120 million. So this is really something that I thought it's really worth. You really needed to be informed of. And if you look at the money that Liverpool has spent so far in the transfer market, it's £270 million. This is what Liverpool has spent so much in the transfer market. And let's assume that they go into the transfer market again and sign a player in the names of Alexander Isak for around £100 million. Calculate that one. That should be around £370 million. Then, if Newcastle United said no, pay around 120 or 30, how much money is that? Liverpool is likely to spend close to 300 to 400 million pounds in the transfer market. What's Liverpool keenly? And they are here to give challenge for other clubs. Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester City. Really interesting. The project is really clocking even very well in there. Remember, they did call back the technical director who worked closely with the Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool. He is at the helm of Liverpool, and he's part of this transfer to Liverpool. This is something that I think Liverpool fans should be expecting seriously, actually at Anfield. And Liverpool is a team that you really needed to watch keenly in the next coming Premier League season. Let's talk about, I talked about Arsenal Football Club already, about Brecht Eze. Let's go to Manchester United. They are seriously looking for a goalkeeper. And the goalkeeper that they're talking about, they talked about a goalkeeper in the name of Emiliano Martinez. They say that Emiliano Martinez is someone that they apparently needed seriously. But Aston Villa say that Manchester, if they need him, they really need to buy him. So Aston Villa were demanding around £40 million. And Manchester they went with an obligation of a loan deal. And Aston Villa turned that one down. Don't expect a player in the names of Emiliano Martinez crossing over to Manchester. I can confirm to you that. And then they were talked about a goalkeeper in the names of Gennaro Donnarumma, who plays for PSG, and he plays for Italy national team. PSG can't afford to lose this guy. I'm telling you. Manchester, he has got that instincts of a ball-playing goalkeeping tactics in him. And I thought he can add something for Manchester United in that because of his confidence. And the latest that we're getting indicates that Manchester United have now shifted their attention to Newcastle United, and they talked about England international. That's Nicky Pop. Can they sign this guy? He is 33 years old. Remember, Newcastle United have already agreed to sign a goalkeeper in the names of Aaron Ramsdale. Remember, Ramsdale has been one of the biggest players for Arsenal Football Club. Remember, it's only his discipline level with that kind of proved huge at Arsenal Football. That's when Arsenal had to let him go and sign for Southampton. And with Southampton, they were relegated to Championship. And Newcastle United looked into his actual potentials. They signed him back. So, Nick Pope, they are looking at, because of issues of competition for now, Manchester United thought it very wise that with the new acquisition of a goalkeeper in the name of Aaron Ramsdale, they can lure the services of Nicky Pope. He has got the Premier League experience, and he's good on penalty saves. That's Nicky Pope for you. But I think if he comes at that team of United, he is not really a ball-playing goalkeeper still. I don't think he is the right man for Manchester United for now. Of course, Manchester United needs a long-term project. I don't know why Ruben Amorim is not trusting Badere, the second choice goalkeeper at United. Tom Heaton is still there. He made a couple of saves in the pre-season. That's Tom Heaton for you. But I think that the Mosaic can do something for Manchester United, honestly. That's Tom Heaton for you. Of course, he has got the experience already. So, Manchester United going for Nick Pope, and you have other 8 goalkeepers there at your disposal, really. This is something which I thought Ruben Amorim and the scouting team of Manchester United is not really sound enough. Signing an old goalkeeper, what for? Really is something that I thought is not really worth. They were talking about Lucien, who plays for a team in the names of Royal Antwerp down in Belgium. But I thought that is a young guy. He's still 22 years old, very young. He has got that attributes of ball playing in him. He's generally a ball playing goalkeeper, very good on set pieces. He knows how to command. He knows how to assemble when it comes to set pieces. He is really someone to watch. And if you want to sign good goalkeepers, I'm telling you, go to Belgium. You will sign them, and they will sign for you in the English Premier League. And he is really someone that I thought Manchester United should sign in there. And his actual evaluation clause not all that big, £40 million. You can splash on if you can sign a player in the names of Matthias Cunha for around 62.5 something. What about Brian Mbeumo? Why can't you address the biggest challenge for you in the goalkeeping area and go in for a ball-playing goalkeeper? This is something that I thought the Manchester United actually hierarchy needed to look into seriously. One of the latest at United is still that they have agreed personal terms with Juventus that Jadon Sancho will be crossing over to Juventus for around £17 million. Juve and United have agreed terms, and Juve with the representatives of Jadon Sancho have already agreed their terms already. This guy is crossing over to Italy, and he will be playing European football. Of course, his priority was to play in Europe. There were actually offers for him down in Saudi Arabia, but he turned that one down. He said he wants to play in Europe, and this is where he has gone back to Italy, where he has never played before. He has been playing. He played for Manchester City. He crossed over to Germany, back to England, and now he has now crossed over to the old ladies. That is Juventus for you. Are we going to see this deal coming into line very fast? Of course, they have already agreed terms. But I think what Manchester United is looking into this deal is all about a player in the name of Douglas Luiz. There have been talks about him coming to United. But United, that's the option that they want. They wanted to give Sancho in. Douglas Luiz comes to the other option. And Douglas Luiz says that he's open to come back to England and he's ready to play in any club. Newcastle United talked about him. Even Aston Villa, for whom he played some seasons ago, were interested in him. And Manchester United is the priority that he really wanted to play in. But I thought Manchester United going for Douglas Luiz was going to be something very actually good in there. Of course, they've never have a replacement for a player in the names of Christian Eriksen, who has crossed over. And Casemiro, Matis has got that experience in him at United, in that midfield setup. Casemiro is not all that speed enough when it comes to tracking back. That's Casemiro for you. But I thought a player of Douglas Luiz caliber, who has got a very huge work rate, he can offer something tangible for Manchester United. But the spirit, the spirit that a player in the names of Casemiro have got over Douglas Luiz is his actual advantage of scoring goals for United. Remember, he is really someone who can score for you goals when it comes to set pieces, the corner kicks, the free kicks. That's where you'll give an upper hand for Casemiro at United. That's the reason as to why Ruben Amorim is keeping hold of him. Of course, he knows he is still an important figure for him. But I think going for that guy in the names of Douglas Luiz was going to be something really amazing for United. And Sandro crossing over is already a done deal. And it's only a minor thing, like you said, about United agreeing with Juventus about Douglas crossing over. But I think Juve are willing to give that money minus Douglas Luiz. That's the only challenge that's still hitting this deal. And Sandro will be leaving the Manchester United. That's one of the confirmed things I can tell you. Let's cross over to Chelsea Football Club. Chelsea are monitoring and they're close to signing 2 players. But I can tell you the first player that they are going to confirm is a player in the names of Joral Hato, who plays for Ajax in there. And remember, Joral Hato has been one of the most influential players for Ajax last season. Manchester, they never won the Dutch Cup, the Eredivisie I'm talking about. They never won it. It was PSV, Eindhoven, who won it. And this one comes an opportunity for the youngster. And the project that Chelsea Football Club is having for now can lure this guy easily to come to Chelsea Football Club, because Chelsea is going for youngsters. Just look at that team of Chelsea Football Club. Really, youngsters. And a player of his caliber can add something in that team of Chelsea Football Club because of his versatility. You can call it the utility abilities in him. He can play that left-hand position at Chelsea Football Club. At Ajax, he has been playing in that. He can play at that back line, that centre forward. He can play in there. But when he comes in, it will be of a challenge for some other players. The likes of Fofana, the likes of Levi Colwill, the likes of Adarabios of this world, the likes of Chalobah. The fighting spirit at that centre back of Chelsea Football Club will be real. And with the end of Moresca's actual style of play, I think he fits perfect. When it comes to going forward, he's good in that. Matis, he plays in that shadow defense partners. That's his preferred position. That's Joral Hato for you. But he can play on the left-hand side. He is a goal-scoring defender. That's Joral Hato for you. When he comes in that team of Chelsea, I think he can add something. He has got that black origin in him. And he is someone who is a little bit bully. And he can add some physique at that backline of Team Chelsea Football Club. So interesting. One of them is Xavi Simons. Chelsea is working on these deals talk to talk. They wanted to sign these deals. And having all these acquisitions on board, Chelsea Football Club will be a team to watch, I'm telling you. And it's not going to be an easy thing that you should be running out Chelsea Football Club from winning the Premier League. I'm telling you, the project is clicking very well for Enzo Moresca. The midfield is compact. The forward is already shaped. So I think what he just needs to do is add some backup to his defensive areas. We all know a player in the names of Rich James is injury prone, and having someone of this kind of a hard caliber into the backhand area can add something. The bench weight of this one, the injury prone. So Chelsea Football Club are really cheering for something seriously. Let's go to German and talk about Borussia Dortmund. I know my time is almost up. Let's talk about Borussia Dortmund and Leonard Trossard. And remember, when this guy crossed over from Brighton and Hove Albion and crossed over to Arsenal Football Club, he has contributed 20 goals for Arsenal Football Club plus 10 assists something which is worth appreciating for a player in the names of Leonard Trossard. Much as at Arsenal Football Club, he's not having that playing time. But when he sits on the bench, he's someone who doesn't complain. But a couple of times, when he's given that priority to start in the starting lineup for Arsenal Football, that's when he struggles. But I thought it's high time that the Arsenal Football Club, with the number of games that they are going to be playing, I think keeping a player in the names of Leonard Trossard was going to be something very important for them. Of course, it's imminent that they are ready to let him go. But to me, I thought he is someone who still got a lot of things to do for Arsenal Football Club. Whenever he comes from the bench, he always have an impact at the end for Arsenal Football Club. These are the players that you need to have in your team. In a crucial moment, that's when you need him. Only thing you're not clicking very well with the first team player that he actually assembled, that's when you need to have a player of his caliber. We've seen Manchester United under Sir Alex Ferguson bring in Chicharito, bring in Danny Welbeck. Those, the Zanzars of this world, those are the kind of the nannies. These are the players that were not that all that highly rated at United. But Sir Alex Ferguson, at some moment, at around the 80th or 70th minutes there, that's when he can bring these players on board. And they always have an impact. That's when Manchester United are known of winning actual games lately. But I think Arsenal Football Club keeping this guy at the helm was going to be something very important for Mikel Arteta. Of course, his impact from the bench has really been so important for them. To me, that's something that I thought Arsenal needed to do. Much as he's not having the playing time that he used to have at Brighton. And he has really established himself to be one of the biggest players for Arsenal Football Club. And we are getting the post that Borussia Dortmund are now interested in his services. Remember, Jamie Gittens has crossed over to Chelsea Football Club. That's when Dortmund will be gearing up for this actual deal to be done very fast in there. Of course, they need to have a replacement for Jamie Gittens. Something that I thought is really very important to see that Arsenal Football Club really need to keep him whole. And at Germany and Borussia Dortmund, he will be having that playing time. That's Leonard Trossard for you. And his style of play, definitely at Germany, he will be scoring goals for fun. He's still very young. That age is not all that bad. 31 years old. He can add something very tangible in the for a team in the names of Dortmund. But for Arsenal Football Club, he is someone whom I think he can also add something very important. I think I have got you covered with all the information that you should be in need of. I'm out of here. Up next is so many programs coming up, and let's catch up again tomorrow, same time, same program.